There's a raging debate going on about whether or not people in the diaspora should be sending money home to their family members, given what's going on, and it's a nuanced conversation. Looking at the economic situation on the ground, there's definitely people who are suffering. There's definitely people who need help, and there's definitely people who benefit extraordinarily from the receipt of remittances. And there's even entire populations of people who that's their primary source of income is a remittance payment. However, what I have noticed is there is a increasing number of people who are abusing the remittance assistance that they're getting. The standard of living in Nigeria, particularly in the major cities, isn't as low as it used to be. I would say the vast majority of middle class inhabitants live in these cities, of the country live in these cities. The cost of living is far less than it would be in many other countries. So the money that you send goes a long way. And given the cost of living where you're coming from, it goes to say that it does not make sense for you to put yourself in a dire situation, which often is the case, where you're sharing a room with someone, you're not going, you're not having no entertainment, no leisure funds. Pretty much all your discretionary money you're using to support other people, and then those same people that you're sending money to every night are going out, going to the beaches, going to the beach clubs, doing the very things that you're denying yourself in the abroad. They're doing with the money that you're sending them in Nigeria. So that is a real problem. That is a real issue. That is a real dynamic that is happening. There are people who are living quite lavishly, refusing to walk walkable distances and take Ubers or Bolts or whatever, basically using taxis to go on walkable distances, living and relatively upscale life on the money of remittances that they're receiving from the abroad, with the premise that because they're in Nigeria, they have a lower standard of living than you in America or you in the United Kingdom. I'm here to tell you that is not true. There's a good number of people who benefit from remittances that are living a better standard of living than the people who are in the abroad. So that is where people then get discouraged and not want to send money at all, which brings us to the second part of the conversation. I don't agree with that either. I think that there is a responsible way to remit and send money back. And what I have advocated for those in diaspora, after you've settled people's basic emergency needs, what is better to do is create an avenue where the people that you're sending money to can work for their money. The same way you have to work for the money that you're sending, they also need to work for the money that you're sending them. So what I've recommended for people in the diaspora is to look for business opportunities, small scale business opportunities, different types of investments that you can send your money to and employ the people who are relying on your remittances. This can take numerous paths. I've seen people set up small scale farms. I've witnessed this firsthand. I will be sharing some of this on my channel, where small scale farms have been set up and people who are relying on remittances are actually working at these small scale farms and earning a decent living, as well as increasing the investment of the person who's sending the remittances. They're managing their flocks, managing their birds, managing their agricultural assets, as well as making money for themselves. This is a win-win for all parties. The person sending money back is investing in a business and increasing their wealth, while the person who's collecting now has a job and is also able to fund a decent middle class lifestyle. Other avenues, if they're in a major city, could be the short let and rental property business. This could take several. You could be purchasing property, having them manage and short let out, and deal with the inflow and outflow of different customers. You could even rent property and short let that out. So as you making a profit from the rental fee, the long-term rental fee that you're paying, where you rent something, you furnish it, and then you have your family come in, manage it, and do short lets in part of the property. So let's say you rent out a building that has 2 or 3 units in it, which is all over Lagos. They have buildings that in Abuja as well that have 2, 3 units in it. You rent them all out, put your family member in one, furnish the other 2, and have them run short lets in the others. If it's done properly, well managed, they can actually make a good living from that, as well as make a little bit of money for the person who's sending the money to support that. That gives your family member or several family members a job. It gives them an income, as well as increases your money, and they won't necessarily be always reliant on you continually sending money, but rather them working and making money for themselves, as well as you who made the initial investments. So that's a second opportunity that I know is out there, either for purchasing or from even renting and short letting. Other business opportunities are like this particular shop here buys fruits and is selling drinks on the beach. This is a small scale business. There's lots of opportunities for small scale businesses like this, whether they be food carts, food trucks, small scale restaurants, and with the ride sharing apps, they now do food delivery apps. It's very easy to be a food provider using the apps. You don't necessarily need an open restaurant. You can actually sell delivered food from these small scale food shacks that are easy to post anywhere. So different types of small scale investments like this, it just depends on the skill sets of your family members, kind of what they're into, what they already have an affinity to do, and then how much resources you have. You try to make a match, try to come up with an idea, and look for ways to use your remittance funding to create investments and then jobs for your family members and friends that you're looking to support. What this will do is it will leave you less, distressed, and also more fulfilled by the fact that you're investing in your home country, creating jobs for people, helping to grow the economy, as well as supporting the people that you care about. I think there is a way that you can do these types of investments, and there's different ideas. You can talk to different people. We're certainly open for discussion. And there's a lot of examples. I think a lot of content creators have shown that, even some that are giving platforms for people to even create some of these types of investments, and they'll help facilitate that. So I think this is something to think about. And I hope that this discussion continues and people can find more ways to get involved, as well as achieving the need to support their family members. Because in a lot of times, people's families are the ones who, scraped together to help them go abroad. So they feel the need to do something to give back. But yet they also don't want to give back in a way that it's creating unnecessary reliance, or people are abusing that. So I think it's a useful discussion to look for more appropriate ways in order to achieve those objectives.